Hi, my name is Pankti Shah, and our team's mission is to establish a settlement on the Medusa Fossae Formation. We strive to build a sustainable colony with the proper energy source and food supply. In our first trip to Mars, we will attempt to live in this location with only a few astronauts just to test out how things will work. With our list of 19 things consisting of different instruments that aid in colonization, our total cost is under budget with $406. We have a comparatively low mass total of 139 tons, and this whole mission uses a total power of 341. We will use cryogenic fuel as it produces more thrust and power. It's a non-pollutant, eco-friendly, and substantially cheaper. We will need to store in high-pressure propeller tanks, however. To start off, our launching system. We picked the heavy lift rocket because it has enough power to carry the weight of 12 NFL football teams of 53 players each. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty, even. This will let us be able to lift large missions, and our mission to establish a colony will require lots of extra material from Earth. There are different versions of this rocket as well that can be designed to take humans to Mars. This rocket is designed for deep space missions and will be able to launch the spacecraft far into Mars. The more narrow one is the heavy lift rocket. So this will reduce the drag as a larger diameter means the more air being pushed out of the way, which slows us down. One of the required cards is rocket nose cone, which is the foremost part of our rocket. The nose cones are designed to minimize air resistance and provide stability and control. If the rocket's speed is less than the speed of sound, then the best shape for a nose cone is a rounded curve. However, if it's faster than the speed of sound, supersonic speed, then the best shape is a narrower and sharper point. In terms of entry, descendant, and landing system, we have heat shield on our list because it is required. It is essentially used to prevent the spacecraft from burning up on the entry and re-entry of a planet's atmosphere and create drag for it to slow down. The hypersonic parachute will also slow down the spacecraft. Between our choice of the retro rockets and the airbags, we chose retro rockets because the Medusa Fossae formation is soft. Therefore, there will be no problem of rocky terrain damaging the spacecraft. It is also very less costly and less weight than the airbags. The duty of the retro rocket is to provide thrust in the opposite motion of the rocket, so it gives a controlled landing.
Hi, I'm Donna, and as you can see in the background, this is our group logo, and it's the gender symbol for females because we are the all-female group of this whole competition, the only one. So we decided to go with the low gain antenna as our method of communication to Earth. We figure that as our mission is to create a more or less self-sustainable community on Mars, we would hopefully not require all that much communication with Earth. Since we have decided to be less dependent on assistance from our home planet, we found that having an advanced microprocessor would be the most practical decision, as it would provide more brain power to the ship, allowing it to work more independently and need less instruction from Earth. We also chose the main card, which will store all our discovered data, a requirement for this expedition, and the main bus to collect or to connect science tools with the onboard computer, as it is also critical for this mission. And our group is called Attempting Earth Trial 2, also known as AEZ.
Hi, my name is Benisha, and I'm in charge of my team's life system. For our food source, we have decided to use the food growing unit. This unit comes with an unlimited supply of food, and we have the energy and water necessary to keep it functioning. We will also be bringing along food from Earth, as it will take time for the food to grow in the food growing unit. This food comes in a limited supply, which is beneficial as it is not our primary source. For the shelter, we have chosen to live in a capsule, and this capsule comes with necessary living supplies. And as for the radiation problem, we have enough dirt to keep our capsules protected. Space is not an issue because we will be bringing a small amount of people and most of the day will be spent outside. The capsules come with more water, which is beneficial as we can use it for our food growing system. We decided against the inflatable caves as they need to be underground and our terrain will make that difficult. These solutions are not definite as we will have more advanced options that will be developed in the future.
Hi, my name is Harleen Gill, and I'll be explaining the strategic reasoning for our team's decisions regarding choosing the materials for our power system. Our team understands the importance of balancing cost as well as mass to ensure success within our budget and total mass available. To begin, we selected the medium um, power solar panel. While reviewing this item, our team finalized that it is the most cost effective at $15 as well as mass sensitive. The cons listed were that it's the only functions near the equator. However, in our case, it is not a con, but is instead a pro because the geographical location of Medusa Fossae is directly situated on the equator. With this item, we paired the onboard battery. It is relatively inexpensive, yet is still able to provide us with all of the resources necessary for our mission. This battery will thrive in our location because it will allow our solar panels to become sufficient when sunlight becomes unavailable from the dust storms. Um, our final addition in the power system is the radioisotope power system. While it still is $75, it has an incredible power limit. It also does not need a battery or sunlight, um, which will lead to the conservation of space available on our station. It is the strongest powerhouse, further allowing more independency for AE2 to survive and expand on its own. It is also accessible everywhere and has extremely notable lifeline for over a decade. Each of these items paired together will aid our group on the way to becoming the most successful group to travel Mars.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I was in charge of mobility and science systems. For our mobility system, we decided not to use a rover because the Medusa Fossae formation has soft ground made almost exclusively out of regolith, and therefore rovers would not be useful. For our science instruments, we chose number 14, the infrared spectrometer, number 20, atmosphere and wind sensors, and number 21, the magnetometer. We chose the infrared spectrometer because it is very useful for the quality of life. Also, it has a low mass and low power usage. We chose the atmosphere and wind sensors because the Medusa Fossae formation is known for having intense dust and windstorms. These sensors will help us to switch our power source before the storms hit because the solar panels will be rendered useless by the fine particles of dust. We chose the magnetometer because it can help us to choose a location based on low radiation. We think these instruments will be beneficial for our trip because they all have specific purposes that will assist our mission.
Thank you for listening to our presentation, and I hope you join us in our journey to Mars.